Hey everyone, so in this video I'm going to be talking about my 16 and 17 week update of this triplet pregnancy, as well as show you my bump, so make sure to stay to the end to see that and keep watching to hear about how things have been going. Okay guys, so first off, I just want to say that today, well, I guess I should say tomorrow, I will be 18 weeks exactly. So I'm just now finishing up my 17th week. So this is going to go over week 16 and week 17. And these are really just things, like when I'm doing these updates, these are really just things that are sticking out to me. I haven't like gone through and journaled and written down every little detail, every little feeling, every little symptom. So these are just kind of the things that I'm noticing that have stuck out to me. So it may be a little bit more general than some other updates, I'm not sure. But anyway, I wanted to kind of say that. And also I wanted to say welcome to anyone who might be new. But for those of you who do not know, we are pregnant through IVF. We struggled with infertility for 6 years. And so we ended up doing IVF. We ended up with 3 embryos total. We did a transfer of 1 embryo. It did not work. It never stuck, nothing. And then we did another transfer with 2 embryos, and that resulted in triplets. So one of them split into identicals. So we have 2 identicals and a fraternal. So anyway, I just wanted to give that background a little bit as to how we got here. So anyway, so going into symptoms, I'm going to be looking down here at my piece of paper. So I did write down a few things just to help keep me on track. But I wanted to update some from my last videos that I've talked about of symptoms I've had. One thing I'm very thankful for is I feel like I really haven't had any headaches much these 2 weeks, really. Maybe some like sinus type pressure headaches, but nothing like no migraines, no nothing like the one I had where I was throwing up, and nothing where it's been so bad where I've taken something either. So I haven't taken any Tylenol or anything like that to help them. There were some nights where I'd probably use some essential oils or something like that if I had a sinus headache, but I'm really thankful that at least right now I'm not really having headaches, so that's been really good. Another thing I wanted to update you guys on is the back pain. I talked about this actually a while back, and I didn't even update about it in my last update video. It was probably like a month ago. And my back is doing a lot better. So I will say I was talking about when I sleep, it was really bothering me and kind of waking me up in the middle of the night and making it hard to sleep. But I think a big thing that I did that changed and helped was I got a much thicker leg pillow. I had a really small, thin one, and it just wasn't cutting it. And so getting a thick leg pillow helps so much. I also have like kind of a rolled up blanket that I kind of put under my belly area, and then another pillow behind my back. So, and then I have my regular pillow. So it's almost like I have a makeshift pregnancy pillow, I guess. I haven't actually tried a pregnancy pillow, and maybe that's gonna be something I'm, gonna want to look into more as I get bigger and more uncomfortable. So, but right now that's working pretty well for me. Like I feel like my comfort level is pretty good. Now, the thing that makes it hard to sleep sometimes, and I'm going into the other symptom, is congestion. I did talk about that in my last update video. And so especially laying down at night, it just can make it hard. During the day it doesn't bother me as much, but not being able to breathe through my nose when I sleep is hard for me. And there's some nights I like prop myself up actually, because I know you're not really supposed to sleep like flat on your back. And sometimes when I can't breathe through my nose, I kind of like to sleep on my back so that I can I'm not like drooling everywhere or something. I don't know. It's just sometimes easier, I feel like, when I sleep on my back if my nose is congested. And actually, even in the past, when I've not been pregnant, like I have propped myself up, especially if I'm having like allergies. Like I get seasonal spring allergies. Usually every spring I get that. And so sometimes I will prop myself up just to kind of help relieve some of that pressure that's happening. So I've been doing that sometimes, not every night. And actually, really the past several nights I haven't done it. So I feel like it's actually getting better. It was pretty bad during like week 16. And I was even having some the drainage going down my throat and having like a sore throat. And you can probably even kind of still hear a little bit of scratchiness in my throat. But it was not fun. And I couldn't even really talk very well. It was just, and it could have been some kind of like sickness, cold, something mixed in with all of this. So sometimes I'm not sure if this congestion thing is specifically pregnancy. I know it definitely is a pregnancy symptom, or is it just because now the season's changing and all that? So anyway, but I will say that at least the past probably like 3 days, it's been much better. So I'm hoping that trend can keep going that way. But anyway, so now for any new symptoms that I've noticed, I will say I'm feeling the babies more frequently. I definitely am sure that I'm feeling the babies now. It's not really like this thing of like, oh, was that gas or was that, I don't know. It's like, no, that's definitely the babies. So that's been fun to be able to feel them. And then even this past weekend, Casey was able to feel them for the first time. And, so I was 17 and a half weeks, something like that. And I didn't expect him to be able to feel, them from the outside that early even, but I was lounging on the couch. We were watching a basketball game and I just was feeling them like kicking pretty strong. And I was like, you know what? I bet that he could feel this from the outside. And so I put his hand on my belly and he felt it. And I was just like, I was even getting emotional. I don't know. I teared up just because, I don't know. It's just so special when, I don't know, for me, I guess, and probably for you guys too, anyone who's pregnant or something, just to have someone be able to feel them for the first time, your spouse, like being able to feel them for the first time is just really, really special. And then my parents were here visiting, and so my mom actually felt them too, so that was really fun. So yeah, that's been really cool. Now, they haven't really been that strong since then, so I haven't really, maybe a few times, but usually it's not that strong. Usually it's just like, okay, I can only feel that, like no one can feel that. But I know they're gonna keep getting stronger and I'm gonna feel them more and more, so that's fun. And another thing that I want to update too is just the heartburn issue. I do still have that from time to time. I feel like especially if I've eaten like my dinner later, and usually I kind of eat maybe a snack before bed, maybe a piece of fruit or something like that, and that doesn't really bother me. But if it's more of a heavier meal and I'll lay down for bed, it's like I kind of feel it. It doesn't last long though, so I don't know, I guess it's just my body's settling, I don't know. But I haven't started taking anything for it, but I probably do need to get something for it. And I actually do have a wedge pillow now. I haven't tried it yet because my congestion's been better, so I haven't felt the need to prop myself up. But I definitely got it because I know, with the heartburn and stuff, I want to try it for that too. But I haven't actually tried it yet, but that might be coming out soon. Also, another thing that I haven't really talked about, but I really haven't had any cravings, like specific cravings. So I don't know, that's been kind of different for me. I feel like a lot of pregnant women talk about specific cravings they have in their pregnancy, but I really don't feel like I've had strong cravings necessarily. So at least as of yet. Another thing I do want to talk about is kind of going back to the back pain, but I noticed I was actually at a party and I was standing up for a long time and not really realizing that I was standing up for a long time, just mingling, talking to people. And then at the end of the party, I just like sat down. I was like, oh my gosh, like my back is hurting. My lower back was hurting bad. And that was really the only time that that happened, but it kind of made me aware that I need to be more cautious and conscious of those type of situations. If I'm standing for a long time, or, you know, even sitting for a long time, just kind of being aware of that. So that was something, and it's caused me to think that, you know, I soon need to get one of those belly bands to get that support as well. But I also just need to be careful as to how long I'm standing. So, but that was really the only time I felt that. But something too I wanted to talk about, and I actually did this even before I was pregnant, and it's called the Stand Up app, and they might have other ones, but it's basically something, if you, especially if you have a desk job, it kind of, you can set it to remind you to stand up like every hour. And so I've been using that very consistently now in my pregnancy. I used it before pregnancy, but it wasn't like, I wasn't as consistent with it. But now I'm using it really consistent because I know it's just important to keep that blood flow going and not really stay either standing for too long or sitting for too long. So just if you're interested in that, I feel like it's a good app. I've enjoyed it. It kind of gives you a little ding when it's time to stand up, and then you can set it, you know, I'm going to stand up for 1-2 minutes, something like that, and then it'll ding for you to sit back down. So it's been really helpful. And let's see, what's next? Basically, we did get an ultrasound recently. That was yesterday. So I'm getting them every 2 weeks. And thank you guys so much for all your comments, by the way, on the last video. That sonographer, I guess is what it's called, technician, was amazing. She was so great. And honestly, she's the best one I've had so far. And like you guys all said, you could just tell she enjoys her job. She has so much fun. She is so engaging and just including you in everything she's doing and explaining things very clearly. And it just made it so fun, that ultrasound. So I'm really glad I could share that one with you guys specifically because that one was so fun. So this last one I had yesterday, I had a different ultrasound person, and she basically did the same kind of measurements that that person did, but it was, you know, not much talking, just like, oh, I'm doing boring things, you know. And I mean, she was nice and, you know, great, but it wasn't near the same as that experience that I with that lady. She was just like above and beyond. But I will say the babies themselves are doing really great. So they're growing wonderfully. They're all measuring right at around my due date. I think one of the babies is 1 day behind, and then the other one's like right on the due date, I think, and then the other one's like 2 days ahead. So they're actually kind of, the ultrasound I had before, they were a little bit more spread out, but now they're kind of getting more similar. And she said that based on the measurements, their baby A and baby C are weighing about 7 ounces, and baby B, which is one of the identicals, is the piggy one, as that ultrasound tech said, and is weighing 8 ounces. So, but, you know, everything looks wonderful. They even checked like the fluid on the brain, and that looks just right. So we're just really thankful for that. My cervix, they did check that again. And let me clarify a little bit, because I think some people were a little bit confused at why are they checking your cervix so early? And they're not checking for dilation. So I know like when people are, you know, pregnant, it gets closer to the due date, they're going in and they're doing a cervical check. I think it's even with hands, I'm not sure exactly. And they're checking your dilation. This is not what they're doing for me at all. They're doing a intravaginal ultrasound. So just like all of us who've done IVF, if anyone has, you get those all the time. So I'm very used to them. And this one's very gentle. It's just going in just to look at the cervix and just checking the length of the cervix. So it has nothing to do with the dilation or anything. And I mean, they're probably going to look at that, you know, later on, but right now it's, you know, they're checking the length to make sure it's long and it's not thinning and all that stuff. And it still looks great. It's about 4.5 centimeters right now, or yesterday at that ultrasound. So she said that's wonderful. So we're really thankful for that. And so, yeah, those are really the main things that have stuck out for me. that I've experienced these past 2 weeks. Another thing is the belly is definitely growing fast. And I will say, before I show you, I'm gonna show you the belly, so stay tuned. But before I show you the belly, I just wanted to mention something that I noticed in myself is that I think since this is my first pregnancy, I always kind of expected myself to be like really excited and like, oh my gosh, I'm showing, I have a bump, this is so amazing. And like, and not that there isn't that, there is, like it is fun to like finally wear, you know, some maternity clothes where they actually, you know, kind of show the bump and you can see it clearly now. And it's no question about it. And, you know, there is excitement and fun in that. But at the same time, because I'm having triplets, I feel like it's also kind of this thing that a little bit of like fear kind of can creep in, because just the thought of how big I'm going to get and how potentially uncomfortable I'm going to get with having 3 babies growing inside of me and my belly getting huge. And so I think when I notice my belly growing, that fear and kind of anxiety of what's to come can creep in and kind of douse that excitement some, if that makes sense. So I am still loving seeing it grow, but at the same time, it's kind of like, this is just the beginning of, you know, this really, really big belly that's gonna come, you know, very soon. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to share that, just kind of this emotional, I guess, I don't know how to word it, but just this tension, I guess is the word, that can kind of come along with me watching my belly grow, of the excitement, but then also kind of some fear of like, wow, this is just gonna get very, very large. And if you look up triplet pregnancy bellies, they are kind of scary. So just saying. But women do it and they, you know, survive and they have these babies. So I know that it's possible, but they just look kind of scary. So anyway, but I'm gonna keep showing you my belly so you'll get to see it progressively get bigger. And it's time to do that now, so. All right, guys, so I have a maternity shirt on and you can see it's really showing the belly well, you know, just in this maternity shirt. So that's kind of cool. I will lift it up just to show. But yeah, it's definitely pooching out. It's pretty firm. I don't know, I have another friend that's pregnant right now and she's about the same. She's like a week and a half behind me and her belly's a little bit softer. So I don't know, mine's pretty firm, I guess just because there's a lot of babies in there. But anyway, that's really the main updates that I've got for you guys for week 16 and 17. So yeah, I would love to hear from you guys. Love your comments. Thank you so much for your comments. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't, because, you know, now is getting the more exciting times coming where, you know, potentially we have some gender reveal stuff happening soon and all of that. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss those things. And yeah, and let me know too if there's things you want me to specifically focus on for, you know, pregnancy related things, or even like IVF related things, infertility related things. Would love to hear from you guys about that. I do have some ideas on my own. I know that Thanksgiving is coming up, so I'm probably gonna be not doing much, you know, during that time, but I do want to eventually do some more kind of topical type things, or just ideas you guys have. Would love to hear. So definitely would take those into consideration. And anyway, that's all I've got for today. All right, guys, see you in the next one. Bye.